First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash, and the ones to those great millstone, while lunch is truth. And also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom, and come back here today with another great powerful lesson to the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the title of today's lesson is News and End Time Prophecy. So I like to say Shalom, Shalom. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by End Time. And it reads that FBI confirms attacks on U.S. soil, cities on the watch list, World War III. It says here, it said the FBI director warns attacks from Hamas and Iran could be coming to the United States as a result of U.S. support for Israel in the Middle East. Say he warns of physical attacks and cyber attacks on our infrastructure and systems. Say here is the list of cities that have been placed on the watch list for attacks from Iran and Hamas. So we already knowing that they already have what these sleeper cells in places, all sorts of rumors of attacks on American soil right here in our own backyard. So we already know that things are getting ready to get busy. We already know that it's civil war is just constantly looming all across America. And also these migrants, they have them in major cities across the U.S., So we knowing that, things are getting ready to pick up. We already know what's going on in the so-called Middle East, which in fact is Western Asia. And one thing about we seeing that, things are constantly ramping up. We seeing that rumors behind rumors, what I'm saying? We hearing things over here, hey, this is going on, that is going on. So things are happening at a fast pace. Prophecies are constantly lining up. Things are are stacking up. Things are constantly building up. So we seeing that we're here. So it's saying these it has a list of these the city that's on the watch list, which in fact one of them is Chicago, one of them is New York, California, Houston. A lot of different major cities across America is on the watch list. So we already knowing that they got these migrants, living in hotels. Some of them they already have released. It's rumors that they are forming, creating gangs. So we already knowing that it's getting ready to be city against city. It's getting ready to be Egyptian against Egyptian. It's getting ready to be a lawless time. They want this order out of chaos. So we seeing it get ready to happen before our eyes. So I put out a lesson maybe a couple of months ago about how the FBI was warning. So it's coming in more clearer. It's manifesting right before our eyes. So, we telling you left and right. We warning you. Warning before destruction. We telling you about war. We warning you about famine. We warning you about pestilence. You know what I'm saying? And also evil time. What is that evil time? Jacob's trouble. A time of trouble that we have never seen before. Even though that once again we'll sound like a broken record, but these are the times that we're living in. We already knowing that about what's going on with this infrastructure. We seeing what's going on with this communication. With the internet, a lot of things are happening. Censorship. Also, we know about this the crisis with the banks to get ready to come upon us. This great economic collapse. We already know the dollar is getting ready to collapse. A lot of things are getting ready to have transition into digital. So these things are coming at a fast pace. So we seeing that these prophecies are constantly lining up because we're living in the end time, real time. So they have these sleeper cells already in place. All they're waiting on is the green light, and they're gonna all hell is getting ready to break loose. In the middle law are constantly warning you left and right. And who will be the most in trouble? The Negroes, the Latino, the Native Indian, what they so-called the people of color. And one thing about it, we already knowing we're not ignorant of Satan's device and his agenda, his plot, his plan. So we go over this over and on. Also, in the news, the crisis in Haiti, we're seeing a lot of chaos over there. We're seeing that this leader, they're saying that he's have taken over pretty much 80 to 90% of Haiti, and saying that he is even it's rumors that he is eating some of these victims that he has killed, you know what I'm saying, that cannibalism. So, you know, hey, we're going to measure the time diligently on that. We already know this could be another setup from, from the government, So a lot of things they're constantly bringing forth order out of care, cause the confusion, cause the disorder, then bring forth a new agenda. What is that agenda? We already know it. You know what I'm saying? They want what? Total control. So we seeing all these things are constantly picking up left and right. And also we already know that purge is coming, that cleansing is coming, that judgment is coming. These things are rapidly coming upon us. They want that police state. You know, we already knowing that invading force. We already know that these UN troops going to invade America. You know, China, Russia in collaboration with with NATO. A lot of these things are coming to pass. We're seeing that prophecies are speaking. They're lining up just like clockwork. We're seeing it. We're seeing what's going on over there with Russia. Russia constantly warning America. They're going back and forth. We're seeing that the nation is what? Divided, left and right. Hey, man, these prophecies are constantly picking up. We seeing one thing behind another, left and right. Things are constantly picking up. You know, seeing what's, hated, it's constantly escalating. Everything that you seeing that's going on around the world, guess what? It's getting ready to come to America on our own soil. You know what I'm saying? Attacks on what? U.S. soil. So, these things are constantly picking. They're constantly warning you left and right. So it also in the news that I think Biden had passed a bill about these high side hustle job. I think I'm gonna do a lesson on some part of this week, but trying to cut out all these side hustles, something that they cannot regulate. I think I spoke on it in my account yesterday, so they gonna, these what they call so-called side hustle, self-employed. They want you to be deemed under what they would call your employee, so they want that total control. So we seeing that it's happening. So we seeing that things are constantly constantly descending into what? Chaos, order out of chaos. This is what they want. So, anything could set it off, everything, a lot of tension right now, a lot of warnings, a lot of rumors, what I'm saying? We seeing it right now. It's building up to this time. Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. So we seeing that we hear they saying that, they have a lot of cities on a watch list. So I have a video to bring it out with more clarity. But we seeing that the men of the Lord, we constantly warning you left and right. The Lord has set up watchmen. And one thing about it, we are standing on our watch. And we constantly warning you all these impending dangers. And also the Bible is speaking right now, loud and clear. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is news and end time prophecy. So I have a quick precept before we open up the videos, and hope once again that you will get edified. Let's go here. Let's start here in the book of Amos chapter 9 and verse 8. Let's get a quick precept here before we start today's video. Amos chapter 9 and verse 8. And it reads, it said, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord power, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, says the Lord." So, the eyes of the Lord is upon that sinful kingdom. That sinful kingdom is what? Babylon the Great. We're already seeing these rumors of what? These sleeper cells. We having rumors of what? Attacks right here on American soil. The infrastructure, our water, our power grid, and so on and so on. We already knowing that also these ports, all sorts of things. We seeing that these things are constantly building up. The Lord's getting ready to destroy this place off the face of the earth. Only one will be saved out of here is the elect, the true believers of Yahweh. By Hashem Yahushua, the eyes of the Lord are what? Are the angels. They are constantly beholding the good and evil. They're riding around as though what they English call UFO, the UAP. Constantly we seeing this. We constantly seeing increased sightings of these what they English call UFO. We know them as the chariot of the Most High. So the eyes of the Lord is upon this sinful kingdom, America, Babylon the Great. The Lord's getting ready to destroy this place in 1 hour. So we seeing that everything is constantly lining up. We seeing that they have the sleeper cells in play. Any given moment, all hell could break loose. We already know this tension. He keep telling you about these migrants. He keep telling you about they're creating gangs. A lot of things is getting ready to come into play. We seeing that it's getting ready to be a lawless time. And also in Pittsburgh, they saying that they were not going to answer 911 calls anymore because of shortage of police officers. So we already know this. Hey man, this is descending into chaos. This is what they're trying to do. Bring forth the chaos and bring forth that solution. They want total control. So it could be a mandate, a lockdown. Anything can come up at any given time. That's why we got to, we are living in some evil time. Things are constantly increasing. We're seeing it happening right before our eyes. Watch, pray, and be sober. So now, let's start today's videos. And after the video, we will start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified.
Additional confirmation coming out in the past 24 hours from the former FBI director, confirming what we've heard from the FBI.
Multiple foreign terrorist organizations have called for attacks against Americans and the West.
And from Congress.
Our country is really at an increased threat for a terrorist attack.
That they believe that over the past couple of years, that terrorist groups have already made their way into the United States, and that in cities around the nation. And I had that list for you yesterday.
According to intelligence, they have cells in Boston, Maryland, New York, Laurel, Maryland, Potomac, Maryland.
They believe there are units, sleeper cells, set up, ready to all attack at once in a coordinated effort, major cities around the nation.
The sleeper cells right now in America, but this administration hasn't done nothing.
What about the Iranians we're catching coming across our border down in Texas in just the last few days?
Also additional information coming out on the sleeper cell units, and they're saying this is not a tactical play. This is strategic. They've been here for years. They're letting others in, and now they're to the point where they are ready to lay out a coordinated strategic attack on the United States, and they believe that we are at the doorstep of that attack. We have additional confirmation coming out on all this. I'm going to be sharing with you the video footage here that they're saying that an attack on U.S. soil is very likely. And we heard from the FBI that this might not just be physical attacks, but in addition to that, cyber attacks on infrastructure. They're saying to watch our water, our electrical grids, our airports, as they're saying they're going to try to knock out U.S. systems. Now, how many are here and how big is the list of cities? Well, it's actually shocking how many there are. And this comes as yesterday, Saturday, we saw in Washington, D.C. at the White House, tens of thousands of people from all over the nation gathering to protest the war in Gaza and call for the annihilation of Israel.
Israel can go to hell!
Additional warnings coming out at religious gatherings. Christians and Jews could be the main target of potential attacks. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you the latest video footage so that way you can see it for yourself. And I know that this is not what anybody wants to hear, that there are potential attacks coming on U.S. soil and that we could be entering into, they said, World War III. However, I do believe that knowledge...
So a gang leader by the name of Barbecue is now in control of Haiti. Obviously, as a lot of you are probably tracking at this point, Haiti is in a state of disarray. The prime minister fled the country and has yet to return because of the widespread violence and cannibalism and things like that are going on. On a separate note, the United States Marines went in and evacuated the embassy overnight on Sunday night. They needed to get everybody out of there that was not essential personnel because there's heavily armed gangs continuing to challenge the country's tenuous government, and they're turning the country's capital, Port-au-Prince, into a battlefield. The State Department sent out a tasker to have all non-essential personnel evacuated from the embassy, which the United States Marines carried out. So a statement got put out that said that the airlift of personnel into and out of the embassy is consistent with our standard practice for embassy security augmentation worldwide. No Haitians were on board the military aircraft when it left, from what the statement said.
Haiti is on the brink of collapse. Armed gangs have a stranglehold on the capital, setting fire to police stations and storming prisons to free thousands of inmates. The latest violence led the U.S. to evacuate non-essential personnel from the embassy in Port-au-Prince over the weekend. But it's the Haitian people who are caught in the middle. The situation in the country is critical. People can no longer go about their business, says this man. The gangs are threatening all-out war unless Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry resigns. He is stuck in Puerto Rico after gangs attacked the main airport. Today, Secretary of State Antony Blinken flew to Jamaica for an emergency meeting with leaders from other Caribbean nations. The State Department says it's in touch with Americans trapped in Haiti.
If they're in Haiti, they should leave as soon as it's safe for them to do so.
Henry took over after the assassination of Jovenel Moïse in 2021 and has delayed new elections. The turmoil has displaced 15,000 Haitians over the last week, and nearly 1,200 have been killed and 700 injured since the beginning of the year. year. Jacqueline Charles covers the Caribbean for the Miami Herald.
What is the life like right now for a normal Haitian family?
There's only a few days of fuel that's left for electricity. Schools are closed. Hospitals have also been overtaken by the gangs, who have also done the same with police stations. I mean, people are really just on their own.
For U.S. citizens in Haiti tonight, options to evacuate are limited because major U.S. carriers have suspended flights. If the situation there does not improve, CBS News has learned a full evacuation of the U.S. Embassy is likely. Nora?
Very dangerous. Manny Bajorquez, thank you so much.
Rick,
If you live in
what was the
Pittsburgh,
big takeaway
better be
today?
careful.
Yeah, Susan, residents of the city will see a major change in the way police respond. They will no longer respond to calls that
This
aren't
is insanity.
considered in-progress emergency. That means calls like criminal mischief, theft, harassment, and most burglary alarms will all be handled by an enhanced telephone reporting unit. That means residents will file a police report over the phone. Officers will not respond unless it's an emergency. Also, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., there will be no officers at any of the 6 stations throughout the city. Call boxes that link directly to 911 have been installed for people to use in case of an emergency. And during the overnight shift, there will be as few as 20 officers to cover the entire city. The chief said today the data supports that.
Yes, it's enough to cover the entire city in those hours when we have 8% of the time people are calling. I'm confident in the decisions that we make that it impacts this bureau and the city in a much better way than we have in the past.
Now, the chief also acknowledging today that some of these changes are due to staffing shortages. He's down to 740 officers, well below the 850 they would like to have. Now, coming up new at 5, residents, city council, and the police union all weighing in on these big changes that begin Monday. Live in the studio, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
They brought them here and put them in the hood because they want us to fight each other. And by us, I mean us. I just got a phone call from my homegirl, and she's talking to me about the immigrants that are now in the hood and how they are now creating gangs. And think about it, they put them in all the hoods around the U.S., and all the democratic states where all the black people and brown people live. Here I was thinking that they were being brought here so they can fight Americans, but really they're being brought here so they can create chaos in the black and brown neighborhoods. I'm originally from right outside of Chicago, and my homegirl's in Chicago now, and she said they are hanging out on every street corner all through our old neighborhood. And once they start committing all these crimes, they're going to get arrested, and then they're going to be used for the slave labor in these big prisons. That's why they're creating cop cities. They all have this planned out completely. I think we're going to see a major outburst in criminal activity, and we're going to begin to fight these people in our own neighborhood because they already had that planned.
So we seeing that we're very close. These prophecies are constantly popping like clockwork. We seeing that, that it's near. It is at the door. So, hey, we knowing that it's not delaying anymore. So, hey, get prepared because we get ready to go through this time of trouble. We getting ready to go through Jacob's trouble. It's just at the door. So now let's start today's lesson today in Revelation. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 11. Quick lesson through the Spirit. And once again, I hope that you will get edified. Let's start here, Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. It said, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly. So we already know about what was the second woe was World War II. The third woe is what? World War III. World War III is at the door. It already has begun. It's getting ready to escalate a full-blown war, the last and final war, right before what? The great and glorious return of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So we already knowing that, hey, right here in our own backyard, it's getting ready to be war here. It's getting ready to be war all across the world. Also, we already know that the Lord is gathering the nation. We're seeing that things are constantly lining up left and right. We still have a lot of people are still not believing. Salaki. So we still have a lot of people are still not believing. Hey, the third woe is at the door. We seeing it left and right. So let's go here to Jeremiah chapter 51. Jeremiah chapter 51, 51, and I think around verse 12. Jeremiah 51 and verse 12. Let's start here. And it reads, says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord has both devised and done that which he has spake against the inhabitants of Babylon, or what? America. So we seeing that, these they're setting up the ambushes. We seeing that what these sleeper cells are in place. We seeing there's already rumors upon rumors. We seeing that, we constantly hearing reports that these migrants are causing all sorts of chaos, all sorts of crime and disruption and disorder and confusion, order out of chaos, and all been devised by who? Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. His eyes is what? Upon the sinful kingdom. The Lord's getting ready to bring forth that judgment, man. We are here is at the door. Verse 13. And it reads that, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundance in treasures, thy end is come, and the measure of thy covenant. So, right now we know that America has spoiled many nations. So America is getting ready to be totally destroyed. Babylon the Great, we seeing it, that it's coming. And what was done to us is getting ready to be done to them. We seeing it. The Lord is bringing it forth. We seeing that they constantly getting ready to devise their plan, their enterprise, that they will not be able to perform. We know that the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. Also, we know that he's getting ready to try to fill his belly. We seeing it happening right before our eye, but he's in for a rude awakening. So, verse 14, he said, the Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So one thing about it is that we know that you seeing this land is full of millions of migrants, illegals. It's all by design, all been manufactured through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. We're not ignorant of Satan's device. So this place is filled up with all sorts of people coming across the board, military, young age men are here. Also, all sorts of criminal, violent peoples are coming, pouring across the board. They're just emptying their prison out, letting them come right on into our southern border, all by design. But all by design of who? Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. The Lord's getting ready to destroy this place. We constantly warning you, left and right, that whore that sits on many water, America, Babylon the Great. So now, let's go here to Ezekiel. Let's go here to Ezekiel one moment. Ezekiel chapter 38. Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 11. Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 11. And it reads that, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having no bars, no gates. So we already seeing that our borders are wide open. People just coming in for left and right. They're giving them all sorts of room and board, all sorts of necessity. Giving them debit card, giving them clothing, giving them shelter, all sorts of things. Order out of chaos. Things are constantly getting ready to escalate, putting them in neighborhoods, around America, predominantly so-called black neighborhoods, Latino neighborhood, also Native Indian. We already knowing that, hey, the enemy is getting ready to strike. One thing about it, Jacob's trouble is getting ready to kick off. We've seen it happen right before our eyes. So this unwalled village, we are at ease right now. A lot of people are relaxing in their leaves, still thinking that they are safe, and all hell is getting ready to break loose. Still thinking that they're a good case, walking in great pride, constantly self-will, constantly being the despiser of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. But one thing about it, hey man, they in for a rude awakening once again. Verse 12, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nation, which has gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. So one thing about it, so it's going to come like a thief in the night. So a lot of people right now, it's going to be unaware. A lot of people going to get caught up in these staffs. They're going to get caught up in these female. They're going to get caught up in all this violence, all across America. Order out of chaos, sedition among men, insurrection, kill or be killed. These things are coming. You see what's going on right there in Pittsburgh, it's in Pennsylvania. It's going to twinkle down in all these states. They're not answering any more 911 911 calls that they will not regard what their king or their prince. You know, it's vice versa. The law enforcement is not going to regard you. You're not going to regard them. So it's vice versa. So we seeing that these things are coming into play. The Bible is speaking loud and clear. We constantly warn you left and right. We at the end of this thing. We are living in the end time, real time. So now let's go here. Let's go here to Jeremiah. Because this is almost where we at right here. Jeremiah chapter 30. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse, let's see where I want to go. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse, Jeremiah chapter 30. And I start up around verse 6. We'll start here. And it reads, ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Verse 7, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who shall be saved out of the elect? So we seeing that we're coming very close to this time. You know, it's going to be a time none like it. You know, never again in history you will see this type of tribulation that's getting ready to come upon this earth right before what? The kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. We are very close. We're seeing things are lining up. We're seeing that what the stage is set. You know what I'm saying? All we are waiting on the Lord has dropped the hammer down. You know what I'm saying? So we already know that things are right here. It is at the door. So all the games there and all the one that said this is not going to happen, that is not going to happen. Well, it's right at the door. It's right in front of your face. We seeing that persecution of the saints, it's also what's coming. We already knowing that these things are coming into play. You know, that the Lord is getting ready to bring what? The famine of the word. We are constantly warning you left and right. World War III, it is at the door. While you constantly relaxing in your league, thinking that you're safe. You know, everything is lovely. But all of a sudden, all hell is getting ready to break loose. That hour of temptation, the MOTB, it is at the door. We constantly warn you. Let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to 2 Ezra chapter 14. We'll close out here. 2 Ezra chapter 14. 2 Ezra chapter 14, we'll start up at verse 13. It said, now therefore set thy house in order and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. And one thing about it's time to get your house in order. You know, examine yourself. You know, knowing what time that we're living in. You know, renounce corruption. You know what I'm saying? Constantly knowing, say, hey man, we seeing that this truth going out on a high level. You know, the truth is being declared. You know, but one thing about it, that hey man, the Lord is getting ready to bring it. Get your house in order, man. Get your mind right, because hey, we're coming upon this time. Verse 4, it said, let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. So one thing about it is that, you know, you got to let go of the ways of this world, this mindset. You know what I'm saying? Let go of being afraid, effeminate, weak, you know, scared to stand up for righteousness. The Lord's not dealing with it. He's only dealing with what? Soldiers. The Lord, you know, he called you to be a soldier. That's why, you know, put off the martyr thoughts. And one thing about it, come under that toes ejects of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. The Lord has called you to be a soldier. We will not bend a foe. Whatever come to us, you know, we're going to take it cheerfully. Because one thing about it, we already knowing that our crown of life is waiting on. Our salvation is at the door. All we got to do is keep pushing. We almost to the finish line. At verse 15, it said, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. Verse 16, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Verse 17, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. Verse 18, for the time is fled far away, and leasing or lying is hard at hand. For now hasten the vision, the prophecy, are the signs of the time to come, which thou hast seen. So we seeing that right now. At the end, it shall speak and not lie. We seeing right now that it's time. It's right at hand. It's right at the door. It is very near. You know, it's constantly approaching. The evils are constantly increasing. We seeing that these prophecies are constantly lining up. We seeing that any given day, all hell can break loose. In the middle, Lord, we are constantly warning you, left and right. Famine of the word is approaching. The World War III approaching. And once again, Jacob's trouble, it is approaching. You know, it is time to seek the Lord while he can be found, while he is near. Because what? It's almost about ready to what? To be set off. But the title of the day lesson, once again, is News and End Time Prophecy. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.